Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, I'll be completely transparent with you. I already recorded this video, but I hated the way that everything flew together, so I'm re-recording it. And now I have a list of things that I want to hit and points that I want to make. So this is going to be about the EA buyout that recently happened. And I know you probably heard, everybody and their mom talking about this. So I'm going to be referencing some points that I learned from not only my own research, but Little Simsy's video and Moist Critical's video. So I will go and link them either in the eye in the corner or in the description below, so you can go and check out those people, because a lot of the points that I'll be making here were from their videos and just kind of my take on it and my revision of it. And so basically, EA just got bought for around, I've seen statistics anywhere between 50 billion and 55 billion. And either way, that's a big fucking number. So it is an immense amount of money, and of course, this follows the Saudi Arabian government's whole thing on buying esports, and they have taken over majority of the market from what I understand, and they are just continuing it with EA because of course FIFA, stuff like that. So they own a lot of esports right now, and this is by the Saudi Arabian government. If you don't know anything about the Saudi Arabian government, they are historically very oppressive of free speech. Now, this is not like getting canceled and stuff like that. This is people are getting lynched and dying because they say things that the government perceives as harmful and illegitimate and everything of the sort, even if it doesn't even have any grounds. Free speech does not really exist over there. And so it is just generally oppressive, and this is freaking a lot of people out. And I have a few points that I have written down, now that I'm not just going to go on a random tangent. I have a few things that I have written down that I would like to point out. So it is, of course, the Saudi Arabian government is very oppressive. Does this mean we're going to lose inclusivity in The Sims 4? And does this provide more freedom, maybe, for The Sims 4? Like, what does the Sims team look like? There's going to be a lot of layoffs. There's going to be a quality cut, most likely, in a lot of packs that we get. And of course, the big thing for a lot of players, more microtransactions, which I don't even fucking know how you're gonna squeeze this. More doubloons out of the Sims community, but here we go. So I'm gonna go and start out with the oppressive Saudi Arabian government, which is a fact. They are incredibly oppressed over there, an oppressed group. So they're thinking, with that, obviously the Saudi Arabian government, with the oppression, does not include LGBTQ people, transgender people that The Sims 4 represents and actually has a very large base of. With this, a lot of people are saying, oh, they're going to remove inclusive content from the game, existing inclusive content. And I think it was Little Simsy, I can't quite remember whose video I watched on it, but this person said that I don't think they're going to remove inclusive content because it already exists and it's generating funds. And I believe that to be true as well. Here's why. So, if you think about it, so let's say they removed the ability to marry who you want in The Sims, change your orientation in CAS, remove all of the transgender flags and items from CAS and from Build By. They removed all of these gameplay features that are able to get you to love who you love and express your orientation. That means that LGBTQ peoples, a lot of them are probably going to leave The Sims. They aren't going to want to play a game that doesn't represent them. Same with transgender people. They're going to want to leave a game that does not represent them. Same with, any spectrum of people. If you removed the African American color, swatch in CAS, probably African American people aren't going to want to play it. Y'all know what I'm saying. If a game doesn't represent you and what you enjoy and what you like, especially in a simulation game that simulates life, you're not going to want to play it. So I doubt that they're going to do that, because that is a huge part of the Sims 4 base. That's a huge part of what makes The Sims, is that you're able to do what you want with life. And it's also a great representation of life for those that, do live in these more oppressive areas, and they're able to express themselves in a different vanity when they can't do so in real life. So they're going to lose a huge chunk of their base. Not saying that, all of the LGBTQ people, transgender people, if they remove those, I'm just using those two as an example. Specifically, if they remove those items and gameplay features from The Sims 4, not everybody is going to want to leave. Some people are just going to say, you know what, I hope that it comes back, but I'm going to keep playing The Sims. Some of them might say that, but a lot of your base is going to be like, screw you guys, you just removed, how I express myself in The Sims. I'm not going to want to play your game anymore. So that's going to remove a lot of their income because they're going to want to do more microtransactions. You're not going to have the same player base to do those microtransactions. So I really don't think that they're going to remove the existing inclusive content. Now, for future inclusive content, I highly, highly, highly doubt that we're going to get much more, if any, because, again, you're being ran by people that live in a oppressive government, and two, you have investors that are also historically oppressive. For example, one of their biggest shareholders is currently Jared Kushner, which, if you weren't familiar with American politics, our little lineage here, that is Ivanka Trump's husband. So you have historically not inclusive people that are in on this deal. So that also doesn't really bode well for people, and especially if people are very heavy into their activism, they're going to not want to really be into The Sims if it becomes less inclusive or if it's even bought by these people. Some people are just going to flat out say, I'm not playing The Sims again because it's been bought out by these people that repress free speech, and not only that, but repress people for being who they are. Some people might do that, and some people already have. So it's kind of a gamble, honestly. And the fact that this was purchased by the Saudi Arabian government, it kind of gives oligarchy vibes, for me, to be honest, because as y'all know, I'm a huge history buff. This is based on the way that they're buying esports, and now they're going into EA. It really feels like a few people are owning majority of the companies, and a lot of these companies are American companies that are bought out by foreign leaders. So it just feels like a very oligarchian society right now, for many different reasons, but we're not going to get into the politics of it. We're just going to get into the buyout side of it, because y'all know I'm a Sims girly. I care about my Sims. I criticize the game a shit ton, and we will also get to that later with the microtransactions. But at the end of the day, you criticize it because you want it to improve. So that is what I'm going to say about the Saudi Arabian government owning this buyout. It definitely feels very oligarchy, and we're just shifting more towards just a few people holding everything that we use as a society. It's not just America, it's not just the Middle East. It feels like everybody, just a few, own the many, which is not a good way to go. So, a lot of people are also saying with statistically it could represent more freedom to do what you want because it's a private thing. It's not publicly traded and everything like that. As far as my understanding, if I am incorrect about any of this information, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to get educated on this situation because it is very important and actually very interesting. So, it could mean more freedom, as in they could do more that they want to and do more risk-taking and maybe even do more with Project Renee, but at the same time, we could also get less transparency from The Sims, which is actually something that they struggled with a few years back and we recently got better at. And so more freedom with the game, honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. And I really think that Project Renee is going to fall flat when it comes to this deal. I really don't think it's going to go through anymore because they have to do so many budget cuts and everything like that to pay off their $20 billion debt. So that is also why a lot of people are saying that's going to lead to more microtransactions, which we will get to in a second. But I really don't see the freedom aspect coming to fruition. I really think that is more a thing of the past. Maybe they can do a little bit more risks with other games, but as far as The Sims goes, I really don't see it happening, especially, taking more risks that the player base is actually going to want. I don't think that's going to happen. So that's pretty much all my thoughts on the freedom piece. I really don't think that's going to happen. I hope it does, and maybe it even improves The Sims. That would be a best case scenario, but a lot of this is looking very doom and gloom, to be honest with you. And of course, there's the biggest part, which is just absolutely terrifying, the layoffs of all of these employees. Usually when a company is bought out like this, of course they have the debt, and of course you have to pay your employees. So there's going to be mass layoffs. This always happens with buyouts, and I feel really bad for the Sims team because job security is such an important part of just life. And it is terrifying to not know where your next paycheck is coming from if you have even enough money to pay all of the things that you need to pay. And it is just absolutely terrifying feeling. I've gone through that myself. It's really just awful. Speaking of, kind of rounding back to our first point, which is existing inclusive content, they're probably going to remove a lot of the staff that coordinates that. They might be working on the game. For example, a LGBTQ person might be making shit for the transgender cast items. They might be making transgender cast items, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to lay you off now because we're not going to put that in the game anymore. Like, that kind of thing. Those are the sorts of people that are going to get laid off, unfortunately. And it is not a good deal by any means. And that is just an unfortunate part of the buyout, which is also incredibly upsetting because you're getting a lot of talented people laid off for seemingly no reason. Why? Because big government want more money. That is literally the reason why this is happening. It's not like EA was teetering on bankruptcy and they needed to take it. It is money. That is the center of this whole buyout, the center of a lot of things, money. And then a lot of people are also saying, due to these layoffs, due to the budget and everything like that, quality is going to go down. And I don't know what else to say about the layoffs. It is just so incredibly unfortunate. My heart goes out to everybody that is even thinking about, shit, I'm going to get laid off. My heart goes out to you. This is just such an unfortunate situation. There's really nothing else to say about it other than I'm so sorry. And then quality going down on packs, on the game, everything like that. That has been an issue that The Sims, again, going to criticize it because I want it to get better, has been struggling with for a while. Quality of packs. If y'all go back to the beginning, it was game packs that were the size of stuff packs. Our money was just kind of flowing out and nothing was really happening with it. And now their packs are amazing. Their packs have a lot of the textures with like woods and stuff felt very 2D, but nowadays they're making 3D shit. Or at least 3D looking shit. They're making like all these different things that are completely new and such good quality, and a lot of us are very happy about that. But however, with this new buyout, the quality is probably going to get progressively worse again, which is so disappointing because we just got to this really happy medium, I feel like, with a lot of players where, yes, you might not like the pack, but it's good quality. You can look at a video of somebody reviewing the pack and say, oh, I really like that item. That looks really good. I like the way that this looks and this looks and this looks, because it doesn't look like like a Paper Mario level anymore is the best way to describe it. It just, a lot of it at the beginning looked very 2D and very still, and it felt like you were playing a simulation game. But now it feels like I'm actually playing somebody's life, It doesn't just feel like, oh, go here, and then I'm going to turn 360 degrees like a robot, It feels more lifelike. And that is kind of what you always want out of a simulation experience, right? So the quality has gone up, and it makes me so sad to even think about the quality going back down. And the unfortunate part of the quality going down leads into the next point is more microtransactions. With more microtransactions probably means more packs, but the packs are lower quality. So this is honestly just such a lose-lose situation for the people at EA, for Sims creators, for Sims players, for all of the above. It is just such a lose-lose situation. And I don't even know, honestly, how they are going to bring more microtransactions to EA. EA is the king of microtransactions, and somehow they are going to bring more not only to EA and all of its games, but to The Sims 4, which if y'all go to that first main page, when you load it up, all of those packs are insane. I mean, of course, we all buy it. Honestly, we all feed into it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just because we like the game, but sometimes they are just... it's overwhelming because there's so much coming out, and it's like you can't keep up. You can't buy all of it. It is just already expensive to have The Sims, and especially when the expansion packs are the price of the base game, which, I mean, shout out to my old Sims players. Y'all actually remember buying the base game before it became free. But it is just so expensive, and even thinking about more microtransactions, like my biggest complaint, as y'all might know, is the kits. The kits are awful. I've always hated kits ever since they first got introduced, ever since they first came out. Like, a lot of the kit stuff is cool, but I do not plan on ever buying a kit because it is just solely a microtransaction, solely a cash grab. And it's very disappointing to see, but unfortunately, we're just going to get more and more and more and more of that, whether the quality is good or not. And that's kind of what this buyout is showing. Now, I would like to say I'm a little more hopeful than a lot of people are. I'm more hopeful that they're going to keep the inclusive content because, again, from a money standpoint, it just does not make sense to remove existing content. It really doesn't. I'm hoping, really hoping that this does mean more freedom, that they can make more creative choices, but it also just based on that inclusivity factor and the people that are owning this and running this now, it doesn't look very good for inclusivity, which is kind of the main freedom that all of us want, right? Is an inclusive game. And so it is very disappointing to see, and it's also even more so disappointing to see just who bought this, to be honest with you. I won't go into the politics of it, but it is disappointing to see somebody so oppressive and hateful in a group so oppressive and hateful to buy such a inclusive game, which of course has its flaws. We still have a ways to go, but will we even go that ways now that we have the people that we have running EA? Who knows? I really hope we're all incorrect about this, and this is gonna be nothing's gonna change. We can always hope, but it's just such a mixed bag right now. Who's to say? Now, I will say the really good thing that I have seen that has come out of this whole situation is everybody coming together. Like, the whole Sims community came together to share information and facts about this and came together to say, we don't want this. This is not something that the Sims community wants. We want inclusivity. We want this. We want this. So we all kind of advocated for each other and for the game, and I think that was really cool to see that, and that was something really good that came out of this. So leave it on a silver lining note, and that's pretty much it. I just wanted to talk about this. I feel like because I have been such a huge fan of The Sims for years, whether it's on my channel or not, I've been such a huge fan of The Sims, and the Sims YouTubers, as y'all know, have shaped me into the person that I am. I've always watched Sims YouTubers growing up, so I feel like I kind of have to talk about this in a way, because this is a game that I love, even though it glitches out, even though when I click on infants, it works better than clicking on adults, and sometimes this glitches, and this glitches, and this glitches. It's only frustrating because you enjoy it. It's only frustrating because you like the game. So I love this game, and I hope it continues to thrive, and I hope we continue to get the inclusivity that we all deserve, and I hope we can all continue to play the game the way that we want to, the way that describes us and describes what we want it to be. So my hope is that this doesn't really affect EA as much as we all expect it to. And I know it's been a hot minute since I've really uploaded and everything like that, or even uploaded something semi-current like this, but I will get into all of that at a later date because this is really not the video for an update. But I hope you all enjoyed my explanation of this. If you learned anything new, let me know. If I was incorrect about some information, also let me know. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the crew today. I don't really know what I want to call my subscribers yet, but here we are. Please subscribe if you like what you see here. And I'm hoping to get back into content very soon. Maybe a little bit of something new that you haven't really seen on the channel yet. There's your hint. And I will see you all in the next one. So long for now, my party peoples. Right, future Tori here. So it looks like the buyout may or may not still happen. It's still kind of, we're riding that fence, but a lot of popular, if, you know, I can speak, YouTubers like Lil Simsy, Vixella, Steffo Sims, Plumbella, James Turner, like a lot of the big YouTubers that y'all know I personally watch, have actually come out and said that they are pulling themselves out of the EA Creator Network, and they're no longer using their order codes, and they're actually shifting some of their content to away from The Sims. And since that's happening, I kind of wanted to add this into this video. So basically, I am personally a variety channel. I take pride in that. I
started out as kind of a, I was still a variety channel at the beginning, but then I kind of transitioned solely to Sims, and now I'm kind of back into that variety aspect. And I would like to keep that the way that it is. I will go ahead and continue the 100 baby challenge until I complete that. And once that is done, probably at this point years down the line, then we'll kind of reevaluate things. But as of now, I'm very happy with the way my channel content is going, and I am loving the long dark. I'm doing lyric videos still, some vlogs. That will probably be a little more sporadic because I'm not doing as many fun things in one succession as I used to, or just basically am lazy and compile them over a number of months. And we're doing some just random ones, like I did one a while ago that's like why are foreign TV shows so appealing, YTPs, that sort of thing, edits of other popular YouTubers like AFMAO videos, what did I call that series? Y'all, I'm so bad with my own videos. I'm making serious AFMAO moments funny, and since she's actually coming out with some of her older content, which thank God, I'm gonna start doing some commentary on that as well. So there's gonna be a lot of different variety things going on the channel, and since these popular YouTubers that I follow so closely we're talking about it, I just want to go and talk about it myself. Obviously, I was never part of the EA Creator Network. I was never endorsed by them. So I'm just going to kind of continue what I'm doing because I already have quite a bit of variety. And since everybody seems to be talking about it, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not necessarily going to shame anybody for continuing to play The Sims because as of now, it's still The Sims. It's still a glitchy hot mess. But as of now, we're still, in these beginning phases. We don't know for sure if this deal is even going to go through. So I just wanted to kind of go ahead and add that little disclaimer at the end of the video, a little update before I go ahead and post this. And so, yeah, so pretty much everything that I said in this video is still accurate information, but we just don't know if this thing is going to go through. And frankly, with having so many people out of the EA Creator Network, out of, you're not going to have as much publicity for newer content because of the lack of EA Creator Network creators. This might push the needle, who knows? Because The Sims is EA's cash cow. But you also have to think of like FIFA, like every single EA title, you know what I mean? So this might be a small dent, but it might be a dent big enough to actually concern EA's thing, or a lot of people have been thinking about, what if The Sims is sold to a completely different entity entirely, which would be a really good end game for us. But, it really just depends, and we are kind of, again, in that kind of stage of where are we at, where are we going. But I just kind of wanted to make that announcement, is I will still probably be playing a little bit of The Sims, but I will definitely continue to do my variety and maybe even increase it a little bit. But my channel won't be really affected all that much because I have never taken an endorsement from EA or became a part of the network, even though that was my dream. But at this point in time, I'm pretty much in the same boat as a lot of Sims people that is just saying, this doesn't reflect my beliefs, so I'm not going to support it. So that's where I'm at as well. Because I never really said my part in where I would be at if this deal goes through and everything. So here's my little tidbit on it and a little update of the news for you if you don't really follow it. But anyway, I will go ahead and continue the end card. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next.